there's nothing like putting a beautiful plate of food in front of people and you see them smile. I certainly, I stalk them. Sometimes I'll walk around and I'll watch them take the first bite and they go like this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in nirvana. I love that. I love that.
Good morning. My name's Dallas Seeley. I'm the founder and owner of the Seeley Group, one of the top-ranked real estate brokerages in the entire country. And today, we've got a very special video near and dear to my heart. We are going deep into the story, the evolution, and where we're at today with Zentra, the owner of Plate by Dzintra. This is not only one of the top-ranked restaurants in the entire Lake Travis community, but in my subjective and humble opinion, probably the #1 top restaurant in Austin as a whole. You're going to hear about her story, the evolutions, right? And how she went from a passion project into offering now breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. Good morning, I'm Dallas Seeley, and we are so honored to be here with the OG, the living legend of Lake Travis, the Zentra Zenith of Plate by Dzintra.
Oh, so, thank you. Stop. Stop.
We're here early. We got brunch coming. We got some beautiful dishes, and I appreciate your time and the honor of being here to get to know you and talk about your story, especially before things start get cranking. We're in the middle of the holidays, so I know how busy you are. So
it's been crazy.
Just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you too. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me too, and thanks for being a loyal customer for so many years.
Long time.
And I've watched your family grow. I remember it was just you and Amy.
Yeah.
And then there's 1, 2, 3, just little by little. It's
so
amazing.
We've been coming for 12, maybe 13 years.
Ever since Little Plate.
I know, Little Plate, but let's, we got some viewers at home that might not know who you are or even heard of this restaurant. You got to come as soon as you can. But let's jump in. Question number 1, take me back to the beginning. When did you know that you had a passion and a gift for cooking?
Well, my mom was my biggest inspiration. I was born from Latvian parents. They immigrated to the United States about mid-50s or so. And for them, everything was about work and being thrifty.
Okay.
So it was either going to help my dad work in his factory or in the fields, because we had a summer house where he worked land, or stay home and work with mom, which was the kitchen. And I love the kitchen. So she could make magic out of anything. I mean, leftovers. She could turn the smallest little leftover meal into this culinary masterpiece.
She's thrifty.
She's very thrifty.
Okay.
Very thrifty. But she could make magic. It's all about flavors. All about flavors.
And what part of the country did you grow up in?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. Jersey girl.
From Europe to New Jersey.
Yeah, my parents, immigrated and then they came there. I was born in New Jersey.
Okay, so you started early with your mom.
Yeah, and I loved it. I just had a knack for it, and I love flavors, and I love plating, and I love to just, it's like playing with Play-Doh in a sense.
Okay.
But delicious Play-Doh.
There you go.
Good stuff.
So you grew up in New Jersey, and kind of walk us through your story from there.
Well, I grew up from Jersey. Initially, I started catering when I was a teenager. But then I didn't think it was something that was serious enough, because at the time chefs weren't very popular, and it's also a very masculine field. So I said, well, I'm going to go through life. I'm going to educate myself and become very smart. I did. I had 3 other different professions before I found the culinary. And then at the end of the 3rd one, I said, what do I really want to do? I said, I just want to cook. And at the time I was living in Paris, because studies brought me to Paris.
So wait. You're going. Let's
way too fast.
Let's take a step back. This was couple things. This was your 4th?
4th, yeah.
Okay,
4th career.
Walk us through the career evolutions, and then you totally went very casual. I was living in Paris. That's not a casual thing. Talk to us about.
I ran away from home.
Okay. So talk to us about relocating to Europe and the career evolutions and all
Yeah.
the things.
Well, I didn't go to college instantly. Because I was the creative one in the family. So it's funny how that continues. I was into the arts, acting, ballet. I was a ballet dancer too, singing the whole 9 yards.
Singing.
But the thing is that at a certain time, when you're a ballet dancer, you have to figure out, well, what do you want? Do you want to eat or do you want to starve yourself? Eat bananas and drink tab and be thin and beautiful and dance for the rest of your life. And I said, hell with it. I'm gonna leave that aside. I'm gonna focus on my acting career. So I was doing that, but at the same time, I was doing a little bit of catering because I was good in the kitchen. Mom had taught me a lot.
This is still in New Jersey?
It was still in New Jersey, yeah.
Okay.
And then I got my confidence up. And back in the day, Catherine Gibbs was secretarial school. And my mom said, you should go there because of that can launch you any kind of career in the world. So I went to secretarial school. I got my degree from that. And then my first job was with the president of a public relations firm in New York City.
So you moved to New York City?
No, I was living at home.
Okay.
And I was taking the Greyhound bus back and forth, in the mornings and schlepping back. And back in the day, girls wear their, sneakers with their fluffy socks and their office. It's kind of like a Working Girl, it's kind of like that show, actually. So I was very clever because I would bring my cheesecake, which was my pièce de résistance,
Yeah.
to my boss. He tasted it and he said, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had. Lo and behold, he goes to Le Côte Basque, which is a very famous French restaurant in New York City, and he brought it to Chef Jean-Jacques Rochoux. Jean-Jacques Rochoux, he tasted it, he said, this is the best cheesecake I've ever had in my life. I want 10 of these.
Keep going.
So lo and behold, so what do? I go home now, so I'm moonlighting cakes. So I do my day job, I go home.
Wait. The bougie French restaurant was contracting desserts from you?
Yes.
So you were still the secretary,
Yeah, secretary.
but you were a side hustle. You were making desserts.
Yes. So I'd go home, I make my cheesecake, the secret recipe, which to this day nobody knows.
Just like Coca-Cola.
It's like, yeah, they're
Lock and bolt,
And then my mom would drive me into the city. I drop them off, and then I'd go off to work.
Okay.
And
How many years did you have a side hustle of making desserts for the bougie New York French restaurant?
That's about 3 years.
Okay.
But for him, it was kind of like a challenge because he was a PR person, and he was thinking, hey, where can I go with this? So he even gave it a name, Zentra's Desserts. So he opened up a little like a branch in the company for me to work from. It was really amazing. Robert Marston, great guy. Because of that, I started getting my confidence up, and I started going to college. I went to Montclair State College. So I started literature and political science for some reason. I don't know, but somehow that took. And something told me, I think you need to go to Europe and spread your wings and see what it's like on the other side.
Leave the nest.
Leave the nest.
What year did you leave the nest?
1987, I left the nest.
And why Paris?
I don't know. I was always attracted to it. The food, of course, the beauty.
Have you been to Paris?
I heard Frenchmen are hot, but meh.
Have you visited Paris, or did you move there sight unseen?
I just went.
Sight unseen.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone.
So you left the nest?
I did do a project once in 6th grade, how to visit Paris with $10 a day. But that was a long time ago.
Okay.
But that's, yeah. No, so I just went. I didn't know anyone. I went to American University in Paris. I went to the Sorbonne to learn French. And I was studying international affairs. And right when Latvia was liberated, that's the country of my parents, I said, well, of course I have to work for the Latvian embassy. So I got a job in the Latvian embassy in their consular department, taking care of visas for people and all that kind of good stuff. And then I met my first husband, and his father had an industrial distribution firm.
Okay.
And so it's not at all.
In France?
Yes, but not at all what I like to do. But then somehow I was convinced, well, if you're good at sales, you can market anything. But long story short, no, you can't. You really have to believe in what you do and what you love, because it's going to come out. So we had the company for 11 years.
Wait. Say that one more time.
Okay. Which part?
The part about passion. Say that one more.
Okay. You need to have passion, because some people say in sales you could sell anything, but I don't agree with that. You really have to believe in what you're doing and what you love to be able to sell authentically, because anyone could say the whole, textbook, discussion. Well, why is this product excellent, or why is this great, or why should you buy my product? But if your heart isn't in it, everyone's gonna say meh and just move on.
So you're telling me that a simple definition of sales is the transfer of enthusiasm and passion from one human to another.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Love it.
it's a relationship. It's a relationship.
Okay, so you're in Paris, you're married, you're in the wrong industry, you have zero heart and soul in industrial distribution,
Oh,
right?
pneumatics, hydraulics, rotary actuators, slides, grippers, real hot,
And
sexy.
and this is your now third career evolution because you started in New York City.
No, this is the second. The second.
Okay, so you started in New York City, secretary, public relations
Yeah.
firm, side hustle of desserts for a bougie French restaurant. Then you sight unseen moved to Paris, spread your wings,
Diplomacy, diplomat.
diplomacy. Okay,
Then the industrial distribution.
okay.
And then finally, well, unfortunately, we parted our ways. I met my current husband now, Alan, and he said, well, what do you really want to do? I said, honestly, I just want to cook. I really want to cook. I love it. That's something I lose myself in it. I don't wake up saying, oh my God, I got to cook. I can't wait to do it. I just love to experiment, see what flavors go together, see how I can make people happy. Oh, there's nothing like putting a beautiful plate of food in front of people and you see them smile. I circle, I stalk them. Sometimes I'll walk around, I'll watch them take the first bite and they go like this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in nirvana. I love that. I love that. So I enrolled at the Cordon Bleu, pastry and cuisine.
What year was this?
This was 2003.
Okay.
2003.
So just to give a little color and perspective, before then, how many years did you live in Paris?
All in all, I was there for 20 years in total.
Okay, so 20 years before.
Let's say 15, because we were there about 4 years.
Okay, so 15, maybe 20 years, and you were not in the culinary scene at all.
No, I would, dabble here and there. Even for the industrial distribution company, I would make dinners and, I had to. I couldn't help myself.
I mean, you were in Paris, so you're probably going to the best of the best restaurants all the time.
But not only that, the markets, for me, restaurants. You go to the markets, the fish, the meats, the vegetables. Oh, it's like screaming at you, eat me, cook me, do something with me.
Okay.
Yeah, restaurants, that's already done. I want to do it myself.
So you were still gaining some chops and experience behind the scenes for those 15 to 20 years in Paris.
Yeah.
And you come back to the States. You kind of have what I'm hearing, what we call a defining moment or a defining conversation where someone that was close to you said, you can do anything. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Well, not only that, I researched Austin. It wasn't just random, because Texas, for me, at first I was like, oh, some people recommended Texas. And I said, what? Are you kidding? Because I thought Texas was all cowboys and, stuff like that and big trucks. A little bit of that, but not at all of it. So they said, look at Austin. So I looked at Austin. I said, sure enough, it's a small, large city that's growing exponentially. Very diversified demographic. People from all over the world live here. They choose to live here. So they would understand good food, but the food still wasn't good yet. This was in 2007.
Well, let's go back to 2003.
Yeah.
So
culinary school.
Okay. So it's your fourth professional evolution. You're going to go all in where your heart's at. You decide you're going to become a chef and you enroll into
the Cordon Bleu in Paris.
In Paris.
Yes. Not easy. They're strict. They don't laugh.
Okay.
And they're very...
What was that experience like?
It was amazing because I think any profession should be treated very seriously, because stereotypically people think cooking is for women, but no, it's a very masculine field still. It's hard work. It's really hard work. But it taught me discipline. I mean, the hours are very long. You need
How long was your training there?
About 2 years.
Okay.
About 2 years, yeah.
So from 2003 to 2005, you did basically your Navy SEALs boot camp.
Pretty much.
Cordon Bleu Paris.
Yeah.
Like the epicenter. And you graduate, and then what?
And then I started working at the Ritz Escoffier.
At the Ritz?
Yes.
In Paris?
Yes.
Okay, your first job out of Cordon Bleu was the Ritz. You were going to skip that part. Okay, got it. The Ritz Paris.
Well, I was more in the cooking school part of it because they have a beautiful cooking school. So I was simultaneous the teacher assistant, as well as translator. So that was amazing experience because you also learn new techniques again. You get to interact with people from all over the world, and you get to, I don't know, you learn a lot. You learn a lot.
Okay. So after the Ritz Paris chapter,
Ritz Paris
what
chapter.
happened
Then once upon a time, there was we saw on an advertisement somewhere that the next Food Network star is looking for applicants for their show. And it was the highest rated show on the Food Network, next Food Network star.
Okay, what year was this?
This was, oh my God, it's becoming a little blurrish. I think it was like 2006, 2007, something like that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is kind of like a
It's
wow,
crazy. It's a
a
puzzle.
wow story,
It's a puzzle.
right?
So
It's like out of a movie.
it's like Sleepless in Seattle. So I take a plane from Paris to Minnesota. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, you betcha. For the first audition. And it went really well. I had to go to some local little Kmart and get some products because they wanted me to do a demonstration. And I did shark, of all things. I don't know where I found shark, but I found shark with a little chutney and a nice little sauce. Sauce is very important. I got pretty far ahead, but because I was living in Europe, it became a little complicated how I would be, doing the show along with my life in Paris.
Wait, you're going fast again.
Okay.
You flew from Paris to Minnesota to audition.
For an audition, just a simple audition.
And did you get it?
No. They called me back, but and they even called me in Paris, but then they said, no, it's too far. We can't figure out the logistics. It's too much because I was still living full force in Paris. I mean, that was my home.
So they wanted to make you an offer, but they said it wouldn't work.
Too complicated. Yeah.
So you had a decision to make.
Yeah. Well, the decision was to move to Austin, and because of all the research that I did and how cool Austin is, and the food scene is very open for development and also very open to female entrepreneurs and small businesses, we decided to move here. So lo and behold, I get Samantha, my beautiful daughter, Alan, 3 cats, and
What year was this?
This was in 2007.
Okay, so 2007, you've done research.
Yes. I flew over right before Thanksgiving, 2007. I found the house, and I went back home to Paris. I said, I found the house.
And it sounds like your research, you were planning to start a restaurant. And Austin kind of checked all the boxes that you felt would set you up for success.
I don't know if I want to start a restaurant because I want to start something culinary because I've never had a restaurant before.
Okay.
That's a whole different...
Okay, so before we get into the restaurant side of things, it's 2007. You move your family to Austin, Texas after
From
Paris.
Samantha was like, Mom, what's this place you brought us to?
And it was a small town back then.
Where are the monuments? Yeah, we had the Hill Country Galleria.
Yeah. And how did the Food Network at that time, and you're now in Austin, how did it play in?
Well, it's interesting what happened. So when I landed here, I didn't know anyone in this city. And the best way to get to know people is to start working in one of the local businesses. So I got a job at H-E-B in the Cooking Connection. You know, when the people stand in their...
Your first job was at H-E-B?
$9 an hour.
Okay.
So, you stand up on the platform, you make dishes, you talk on the microphone.
Oh, you're my favorite person on Saturday mornings. You go by, it's like, like little kids used to go to the mall and go to the food court.
Yeah.
That's what big kids do now, adults do now.
Yeah,
on
of
Saturday
course,
mornings.
little plastic things eating their little snack. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I love that. So I had a master's degree, culinary degree, all this corporate experience, and I'm working for $9 an hour. But it's okay. I got to know so many people. And the woman who was heading the Cooking Connection in Westlake Hills, H-E-B, she did not like the camera. And they wanted her absolutely to go on Good Day Austin to promote the Cooking Connection. And I said, pick me. So I started on a regular basis doing the cooking shows, the morning shows for Good Day Austin.
For H-E-B?
Yeah, for H-E-B.
Okay.
Good exposure, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then Food Network had, again, another audition. This time it was in Portland, Oregon. And I went over there. I started to recognize the producers because, they're the same people all the time. So you make that connection there. It is connections in life that help, right? Yeah. So this one didn't really pan out. Next year, 3 times the charm, the audition was in Austin. I said, yes.
Really?
That's amazing. Okay. Coincidence.
What year is this?
This is 2009.
Okay. 2009.
Yeah, 2009. And so I go to the audition and they love me. They think it's great. they like to play with you. You know, the Food Network, they want this whole game where you're like, ah. So they called me, they said, okay, you're in. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the next Food Network star. That was like their highest rated show on the Food Network. It's amazing.
2009.
This is 2010 when the show
You
aired.
get it.
Yeah.
So it starts in 2010.
Yeah.
And what was that chapter like?
That chapter was, have you ever been on reality TV?
No.
No, it's not really reality TV, but it's a good experience.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was a great experience, except that I was surprised because they picked 2 people from Austin. And I was wondering why they did that and why they picked Austin in the first place, because a lot of people don't have cable here or didn't back in the day. Now they have all kinds of channels. So, but it was a fabulous experience. I mean, you really get to go deep inside yourself, who you are, who you want to be. And, but everyone's dream, I want to be the next Food Network star, but there's much more to it than just, you know.
So you get your reality TV fix.
And after that, you could do anything.
Was it just, did it end 2010 or did it end 2011?
No, this ended 2010.
Okay.
The show aired June 2010.
So
Yeah.
you're now living in Austin.
Yes.
You've kind of outgrown the HEB gig.
Mm-hmm.
You just finished your cameo reality TV
So,
superstardom.
yes.
And did you like take a sabbatical? Did you like,
Hell no.
what happened?
Hell no. So we started doing cooking, like supper clubs at our house. It was a beautiful house, Lake Point,
Uh-huh.
you know, high ceilings and whatnot, with this big dinner table. I mean, who does that? In the middle of the living room, this big round dinner table that seats like 16 people. So we started doing these supper clubs. And my daughter Samantha, of course, she was a server. She was, I think, 13 at the time or something like that.
Putting her to work, right?
Hey, you got to start them young, you know. And so we started supper clubs and then building an email list as well. And then starting to get a large following. We met some of the most amazing Austinites that actually helped catapult my career. People that got me involved with cooking for Jackie Stewart, Mark Webber,
Mhm.
celebrities. I mean, it's amazing. Wonderful people. Just by that.
So your supper club kind of evolved into some high-end private catering.
Yes.
Catering.
Yes. And
Okay.
connections that have become friends for life, like you and your family, friends for life.
So you're now doing high-end private catering.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. Is this
This is Samantha, the one and only Samantha.
Indeed.
Yes.
the legend?
You're the legend, the one and only. We happen to, I don't know, we dress the same today, it's the same braid. I don't know how that happens. Apparently we look alike, but I'm not sure.
There's a rumor she's secretly being primed to take over down the
Maybe
road.
she is. I don't know. We shall see.
Wait for the next interview.
We'll see. Thanks, Sam. So, talk to us when, how, all the details of the birth of Little Plate. In fact, it's my next question. What inspired you to start the restaurant, and what's the story behind its name?
Well, the supper club was one thing, but we had 3 unruly cats. And somehow that doesn't mesh well with fine dining, especially if some people have allergies. There's other stories for that, you know, if you want to ever know. I mean, have you ever been to sure, and then drink wine, and then the cats, you know, of course, the cat picks out the one person who's super allergic. But anyway, so we decided to bring the supper clubs to a professional level. So mind you, never had a restaurant before, no idea what to expect. An opportunity came up here in the shops at the Galleria. And we found a tiny little spot about 1,400 square feet. That's including the kitchen. I said, okay, let's take that.
What year was this?
This was 2010.
Okay, so 2010,
This is right after the Food Network.
the supper club and the private high-end catering sounded like it was booming to where
it was-
out of necessity,
Yeah,
you're like, we've got to get a
you
professional
got to
place.
yeah, got
So it didn't, I'm hearing it didn't initially start as we're going to open this awesome restaurant to the public.
No.
It was a private space.
Oh, plus one more story. So the head of the Cooking Connection, she was jealous because I was doing those spots on TV. So she called the what do you call it, the Department of Health and what's that department name? What do you call it? Sanitation.
Uh-huh.
And said that I was doing these illegal like supper clubs out of my house. So this is a funny thing. Alan had just cut his finger somehow. He had a big bandage around it. He was slicing potatoes for, potato chips in the garage. The garage door is open.
And they drive
The
by.
sanitation guy comes by and says, hey, is the owner of whatever here? And Alan says, with his bloody finger, yeah, she's there in the kitchen. He comes in through the garage, goes down 3 steps. There's a big litter box, first of all. Goes into the kitchen. One cat is sitting on the counter. And there I'm prepping this big meal of whatever nut. Anyway, that was an interesting story.
That was a whole thing.
That was the whole thing. That's when we said, hey, it's time to move it to the next level.
So 2010,
Yeah.
y'all rent the space here in
Yeah.
Bee Cave, Texas,
Yeah.
which is right down the street from your house.
Yeah.
So you chose it because it was a great opportunity. I'm sure the rent was a lot less than downtown Austin.
Absolutely.
And it was convenient.
Yeah.
And it started off as a professional place to host your high-end catering and your supper club dinners.
Yeah, well, actually, I wanted to mirror Alice Waters' concept, concept Champagnes, where you have only a fixed menu. So
Tell us more about that.
Okay, but it was a fixed menu. We had a soup, a salad, and a sandwich. And that's it, every day. That's all we did, a soup, a salad, a sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah, so we started out small, but then our customers were saying, hey, you got to bring it up a notch. But, we never had it. I mean, there was
Was it open to the public originally?
we were open to the public.
In the beginning?
There was
Okay.
Alan, Sammy, Natalia. I don't know if you remember Natalia. They were in the front.
And was it named Plate in the beginning?
Yeah, it was Plate. Yeah, Plate by Zentra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd the name come from?
Okay, the name came from, in the culinary world, the plate is our canvas. Everything that we create, it's an open slate, a clean slate. Everything that we put on the plate is an expression of how we think about food and what we think about it. So it's kind of like wine too.
Okay.
So beautiful, but not conceited. Delicious, extremely comforting, and a little bit addicting, but accessible to everyone.
Those feel like core values of your restaurant.
Yeah, well, it's accessible because the menu is large. Now it's large, but there's something for everyone, different price points and whatnot. I know I kind of jumped ahead, but
Well,
Back to
I
the-
mean, that was my next question. How would you describe the restaurant's vibe and cuisine to someone who's never been here before?
well, it's if you notice the decor, it's kind of like a home.
Yeah.
It's very cozy, comforting. I hate hoity-toity. That's where I'm saying beauty without the,
Stuffiness.
the stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that kind of warm, cozy vibe with elegance and a down-to-earth approach.
Okay.
That's-
So
yeah.
let's go back to kind of the evolution. It's 2011, 2012. You guys have this, and
Little
we were for the viewers at home, because you've upgraded since then. It's
Yeah.
called, when you think about that first chapter, we call it Little Plate.
little plate, yes.
Because the restaurant size was tiny.
It's the size of our little market now.
Tiny.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
I remember going in the first time, and I'm sure it was more, but it felt like there was 6 tables in a bar. That's what it felt
Yeah,
like.
9 tables.
9
yeah,
tables.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
So
And then we did cooking classes too. So even during dinner, once we started the dinners and the more upscale things, and we had a fixed menu. I know I'm jumping around. Every week we changed the menu. So one week we'd go to Spain, one week we'd go to France, one week we'd go to Italy. So the menu was completely changed every single week.
So the way you talk about it, and what I remember in those early years when it was so small,
Mhm.
did you just have all the freedom in the world to just have
Absolutely.
fun?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because we had, we only had 9 tables. So like Chez Panisse, where she has a fixed menu every day, changes daily. You could pick what you want to do. You go to your local commerces, you buy what you need, and you just create.
Okay.
You just create.
So
And the cooking classes, so even during dinner, once we started the dinners, people would be sitting there and I'd be doing classes on that's how I met the Teckles, who introduced me to you.
yeah.
Yes, we're doing the cooking classes, and people always thought that was kind of a fun vibe, kind of like a fireside chat. It's really cozy.
Well, so just to set the record straight, even though the Teckles are dear friends of ours, that is not how we found out and were introduced.
Okay,
So it was, we got married in 2013.
because they were always talking about you.
Yeah, well, we got married in 2015, and I think she started looking at wedding dresses in late 2013.
Okay, yeah.
And right next
It
door
was a big, yeah.
was a wedding dress place.
Yes.
So I remember taking my dear wife during the day to drop her off at an appointment, and the sign caught my eye, and I made, the serendipitous decision, instead of driving off, to park the car and get out. And y'all were close because it was at like 10 or 11 a.m. I don't know
Yeah.
if anyone was there at that time, but I'm like, what is this? So I just saw your logo, right?
Yeah.
because I don't think back then y'all had a marketing budget. It was all word of mouth,
no.
right?
Oh, yeah, all word of
Just like most small business, it was all one person at a time, word of mouth, referral based in the beginning. And even though we knew the tables, they hadn't mentioned anything about it yet. And by luck, I got out and then I looked at the menu and I'm like, I'm going to take her here next week for date.
That's awesome.
So I called, we go on a date night, don't know what to expect. I walk in and there's one server, I think it was Jay back then.
Yes,
there was one server, and I think that very first night, because it was still earlier, it was like you. It was like you behind the kitchen, and one server. That was the size of the restaurant. We had 9 tables, a bar. We had one front of house person, and we had you running the back of the house.
Yeah,
and that was
and a dishwasher.
Yeah, and we go through the experience, and we had been growing. Our business had been growing. We had becoming more and more of a quote unquote foodie. And that very first meal, which I'm sure I'll say more than once on this video, both Amy and I were like, oh my gosh, this is pound for pound the best hidden gem in all of Austin.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And so, if it was 2013, could have been 2014, but we're going now over a decade of coming. And it's just been so great to see all the evolutions and the growth.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so next question for you. During those years of growth, what have been some of the biggest challenges you faced as a restaurant owner, and how did you overcome them?
Well, the first one was when we had the opportunity to get this space, which is 5,500 square feet.
So you went from 1,400 to
5,500 square feet. Yeah, what was I thinking?
I don't know.
Oh,
well,
but
available.
It was available. Actually, it was empty for a few years.
It was the old
Gumbos, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, nobody was here. It was empty, but it was a beautiful space. It's on the water.
Yeah.
Beautiful greenery all around. And what better than to be able to create all this culinary magic in this beautiful standalone location.
Okay. And what year did you decide to make the leap and upgrade?
It was 2018.
So it's 2018.
Yep.
You guys have exploded over the past, 6-7 years. Opportunity right next door to get this beautiful standalone space over the water, and tell us what that was like.
It was quite nerve-wracking.
Okay.
Because this is a female-owned business. It was a big jump, and it was also a little bit of a dicey time. Economic situation. It was kind of in a quibbly spot. And thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So 2018.
It's my favorite sandwich on the planet.
You took what?
Thank you.
We'll pause. What do we have right here?
Okay, that's our delicious quiche Lorraine, which is so unctuous. There's so much cream and butter and cheese and gooiness in there. It's delicious. This is like a classic French sandwich. So you have lightly toasted brioche with tuna, not too much stuff in there, just like oregano, mayonnaise, keep it clean, but sliced hard-boiled egg, cucumber, tomato, lettuce, and somehow the flavors are just, they just meld together, and it's
perfection.
It's perfection.
Okay,
yeah,
perfection. So I'm gonna take some bites and tease the viewers, but it's 2018.
Yes.
You take a leap of faith. You get a space that's 3 to 4 times its size. Operating costs, 3 to 4x.
Yes.
So
5 to 6.
Was it an empty shell?
Because
it's beautifully finished out now. Talk to us about that process.
Well, my father helped me, first of all. He helped me. He was my biggest warrior. Actually, he, even when I was living in France, I came back for some holidays here and there. He says, you might have a cooler haircut, but you're still full of shit. So he saw through me, and he knew when I was, pulling shenanigans or not. So he really wanted me to succeed. And it's ironic because 3 months before he died, he came to see this. He saw this for the last time. It was amazing. We were sitting out on the patio, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So it's incredible. He's watching from above. No, it was so difficult making this transition because, first of all, my customers made me more nervous than me. They started texting me, emailing me, Zentra, are you okay? Are you going to be okay? We're nervous. How are you making this jump from this little place to this big place? How are you going to do it? I said, well, duh, I don't know. Like I did before.
Gotta figure it out.
Yeah, just the larger.
Like my mom, I'm scrappy. I'm thrifty.
There you go.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah.
But then with the larger location, you have a larger crew, larger kitchen, larger front of the house, and also finding the appropriate labor mix is one of the biggest challenges in the world, because you could have a great team, but suffice it to have one bad egg that ruins it for everyone. It's kind of like soup, you know? You put in sugar instead of salt, the whole thing goes to hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So finding the right mix.
So
makes people
you not only operating costs just
five
massively
times as much, yeah.
5x, but
Yeah.
now you've got to find and train a staff.
Yeah, well, my head chef was a Brit who was a diabetic alcoholic.
Uh-oh.
He would like take out the garbage to the trash with a little water bottle filled with vodka,
Uh-oh.
and then he'd be nipping at it. But we're talking like 100 degrees out there. And he'd come back, of course he'd be all loopy. And then most of my kitchen was very diverse. You know, there's a couple of Americans, there's predominantly the Hispanics, but then you have the one Brit. And it was just, it didn't mesh, it didn't meld at all. So then little by little, we found some other people. We found Ronnie, who was our sushi chef as well, when we started the omakazes. You know, because as it's such a big location, we had to make every piece of real estate work. So in the market, that's now the market, we put an omakase, where people would have this upscale, you know, sushi dining experience. And so that it wouldn't just become a storage space.
Okay, so we're gonna go off the cuff, not part of the
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Tell us about the difference between the formal restaurant. Well, when you come to plate, there's really 4 to 5 different spaces.
Yeah.
So you have not one, but 2 kind of separated formal dining rooms. You've got
Chef's table.
a chef's table. You've got this incredible, beautiful bar in the middle.
And the market.
Right.
5, yeah.
And last but not least, you have the upfront market space. So when you purchase this, what was the original vision for that market?
I wanted to recreate Little Plate here, because everyone was saying, Zentra, what are you going to do? You know, such a big jump. And I said, okay, guys, here's your little pacifier. I'm making a little plate right over there. So when you come in, you're feeling nervous for me, just look in there and just remember, there's no place like home.
Okay. I remember, so one of the most, and tell us, you know, it was kind of out of left field, but when you first opened it up, Amy and I were coming, and you're like, hey, special invite only at the plate.
Yeah.
I've got this new chef, and he's going to be doing high-end sushi omakase. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot his pedigree, but
yeah.
Whether I forgot if it was 6 months or a year and a half, but we would come here in our own backyard here in Lake Travis. You were having 8, 10, 12 course sushi omakase, like that rivaled some of the top in all of Austin or the state. It was absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also we had this big, important things. We had this big TV there. And during the omakase, I don't know if you remember, we put these black and white old Japanese films. Ooh, the samurais.
I don't remember that, but
it's just to add a little bit of that, you know, saucy part that I have, that little kitsch and that fun, you know, that whimsical vibe. You don't want to be too serious. You want to make it fun.
You do want to make it fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Big question coming up next. You ready? Every restaurant has a signature dish.
Okay.
What is yours and what makes it so special?
See, the thing, Dallas, I have so many, but if I could put a name to something, okay, first of all, sauces. I'm the saucy chef. Anything with the sauce elevates something to another level. But for me, biggest pride is the ahi poke. I love that, bar none, because on a board, actually serve on board, it encapsulates everything that I stand for. Freshness, authenticity, flavor, crunch, presentation. It's all those things we were talking about.
Tell us about, I know the answer, but, not skipping any corners. Tell us about where you get I
get the fish from Hawaii. I mean, it's swimming out there. Flown in yesterday, and today it's here. Beautiful, bright red. I mean, it's gorgeous, beyond gorgeous. And it costs a lot, but, it's worth a lot. It's kind of like Moonstruck. Costs a lot of shit.
That's interesting
now.
Because I don't remember. It might have been there at Little Plate. I know
it was. Towards the end, it was. Actually, I would drive from Austin to New York to get culinary inspiration. Now I do, Austin, Paris. And I'd stop at all these places. America is beautiful. America is beautiful. Everyone should see every state in America. It's not what the news says. It's not what the media says. It's friggin' gorgeous. And the food, beautiful. So anyway, in Charleston, South Carolina, there's a place called Hank's Seafood. And they had an ahi poke, similar. But it was just I know the presentation was off. It didn't have a nice sauce with it. It was kind of bland. I said, I'm going to elevate this. So came home.
You got inspired
Yes.
by one of your trips.
Yes. I went to the Asian market. We got the taro root. Those big roots, you slice it and then we deep fry it in beef tallow. So it has that nice unctuous kind of yummy flavor, nice sea salt on top.
You forgot to mention you homemade your own taro chips.
Oh, taro chips. I mean, we fry them in beef tallow. I mean, it's a chore. You have to schlep, bring, prepare, slice, dice, and fry. And they're so good. And we serve it in a nice little light pile. They're like little feathers. They're beautiful, crunchy feathers.
Okay, so I wouldn't normally say anything because in the beginning days, it was really our signature dish, but you did mention it in the first chapter when you were moonlighting and you had a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the cheesecake.
Oh, the cheesecake.
Which, by the way, recipes under lock and key, like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just wonderful. It's a New York style cheesecake, but it's fluffy. It's not heavy, and the graham cracker crust has macadamias in it and butter, so it's almost like a toffee-esque feel to it, and it just melts in your mouth. It's addictive. The flavors are just so.
Is the recipe passed down from your mom, or where did it come from?
Oh, actually, my singing teacher.
Your singing
teacher when I was studying opera, along the days of ballet and opera and acting and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she gave me that recipe, but I have, tweaked it a little bit since then.
But it's been a staple now for 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But also my scallops, the risotto.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
we could go on. We could go
the
on.
beurre blanc. Oh my God. Beurre blanc, you could take it to so many levels. You could have chili sauce to beurre blanc. You could have balsamic fig to beurre blanc. You could add tomato to. You could add anything to beurre blanc. It'll make it unctuous and delicious and lots of flavor.
Okay, so even when we were living in the Circle C area, we would drive, not that 12-minute drive. We were coming out here, and since we moved out here and built and started a family, you've really been the one and only and the go-to staple for more elevated high-end dining out in Lake Travis. Obviously, it started out of convenience because you personally live here. Another off-the-cuff question. You did a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose to plant your roots in the Lake Travis area, and how have you seen your restaurant contributing to the community over the years?
Again, research and demographic, because good quality produce costs quite a bit, but you have to understand it too, because believe it or not, from Little Plate, you probably admit it was a little bit more daring, a little more elevated in certain ways. When I came here, I don't want to say I had to dumb it down, but I had to appease many more people. We have many more people. We need to invite a larger demographic. We can't be snobs, because I feel sorry for some of these Michelin restaurants now. They're going out of business because people hear Michelin, they perceive it like, oh, it's too hoity-toity. And to maintain those standards, it's very difficult. So we had to, that's why our menu is also diverse. When I said that, it's, open for everyone. We had to bring in a lot more people so we can make everyone happy. So there's different things on the menu at different price points. So if somebody doesn't want to spend a lot one night, they could spend, more another night or whatnot. This community has embraced me with open arms. I'm so thankful for everyone here. We try to donate as much as we can with gift cards and whatnot. I used to do much more public events and whatnot, but now with the larger staff and the larger everything, it's more difficult for me to do that.
You have a lot to manage.
There's a lot to manage.
There's
a lot to manage.
All right. Next question. Do you have any favorite stories or memorable moments with customers from over the years?
Everyone is memorable and wonderful, but just from the very beginning days, with the cooking connection and then meeting some of my customers who actually, they helped me grow in this whole community. And the realtors too, the customers. Some of my customers have followed me from the very beginning, the early days. Yeah.
Every person that whether they're relocating from out of town, out of state, or, all of our current clients, once they get to know us and they know how big we are into food and wine, they immediately ask our top recommendations, and this is the first one that comes up, right? So I know you've got a ton, but some of my favorite memories, besides being one of the original OG crew by accident because the wedding dress store was right next to it, I remember 2 incredible events. Well, 3, now that I think of it. In no particular order. Number 1, we had Scarlett's baby Gingerville
I
here.
remember. I
So we were in this part of the
I
restaurant.
remember.
We
That
had
was so
30,
exciting.
40 people. You know, we did the classic cake. I think you might have even made it, if I remember correctly. And Amy cut it here.
Yeah.
We might have some footage that we can get on video.
Yes, yes, yes.
Another time, we have some dear friends of ours, Larry, Mary, and Chai, that are the founders and owners of Moonshine Wine out in Napa Valley. And it was during COVID,
Yeah.
and they wanted to kind of do some grassroots marketing, and so we helped them put together
The wine dinner. I remember
an
that.
Austin wine dinner.
That was amazing.
And
That
this
was amazing.
entire room was organized to the knot. We had 60 people here, giant round
Well,
table.
the advantage of this restaurant also that it's modular. We
Right.
could change it whichever way you want. We made this big old horseshoe. I remember that. That was great.
It was great. And then
We've had weddings here too.
you've had weddings here.
We have weddings
You
here.
can do it all.
We could do it all.
Amy's had her what do you call the crazy mother's brunches when an expecting mom has a bunch of women that get together?
Baby shower.
Baby shower. She's had baby showers here.
Yeah.
My favorite memory though is both of our kids. The first one, we just come here. We've got a 2-3 month old baby,
So cute.
and you know Wyatt's.
He's so sweet. Little hair.
And you
Oh, the Vanka.
you're like, I need to do something. It's a European tradition.
Yeah. My mom used to do that. To say Vanka ruchuchu, 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 Vanka ruchuchu, ru. And then you kind of
Throwing them
throw
up in the air.
the baby up.
We're sitting there eating.
And the people like, oh yeah.
It was great. It was great. All right, let's get back to it. Keep this train rolling. Next question.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you did a lot of research.
I did.
Sounds like you're actually way more purposeful of this location than you let on. What do you think sets your restaurant apart from others in Austin's hyper-competitive food scene?
Authenticity and heart. And just a casual family vibe. Like when you walk in, you feel like you're walking into a home. We greet everyone with a smile. There's a lot of hugging going on. There's no pretentious like, which tie would you like to wear with your, jacket? It's just a very nice, comfortable vibe, but don't let that deceive you because the food is very good. Everything here is made from scratch. Everything.
Everything.
Every single thing.
Every day.
So we could control everything that goes in. So it's almost like the European way. You eat clean, natural, and it's good for you. It's much better for you.
Beautiful. Okay, next question. How do you approach keeping your menu fresh and exciting for returning customers?
I have to change it up a lot. And that's where the travels come in, where I travel to either, driving through the country or flying to Paris, where I spend quite a bit of time there from time to time. And that was redundant. I don't want to say how much time I spend there, but
I mean, if you follow Zentra on social media or Instagram,
see all my ventures and all my dishes.
She is traveling about 50% of the time throughout the year,
Mhm.
and it's by design. So you'll see her in New York City, and she's doing a recon trip for new and fresh ideas. You'll see her on the California coast with her daughter, right? And she's doing recon, and of course you'll see her back home in Europe, back in Paris.
Paris is kind of like home for me. Yeah.
And that's the epicenter of the culinary world, and you're going there for cutting,
Inspiration, because at the end of the day, chefs, we just have the same products to work with. Food is food is food. But it's like my mother going back to the, leftovers. What you do with those ingredients is what sets you apart from everyone else. And people will feel the love. They're going to taste the love. It's going to be beautiful, but it's not pretentious. I mean, we don't plate with tweezers. We plate with love.
With love.
With love.
So speaking of love, let's go back to the market. Another off-the-cuff question.
Yes.
You opened it up. It was really to appease all what I'm hearing, the whiny babies, the old customers who want to keep it small and didn't want things to change. You started a super high-end omakase sushi restaurant, and then now...
And then COVID hit.
COVID hit, and then, if I remember correctly, you found a gentleman straight out of Naples, Italy, didn't speak a word
Not a lick of English. Not a lick.
and we were making authentic
Pizza.
handmade pizzas.
Yeah.
Out here in Lake Travis.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was incredible.
I mean, the best ever.
Okay, so that you're still making pizzas.
Absolutely.
And about a month ago, I got an email about the newest evolution. Share with people at home what is now being done with the new hours and the new menu of the market?
Okay. Well, the market is finally, it's been birthed. Is that a word? It's been birthed. We've given birth to the market, finally where it should be. There are many factors that went against it in the beginning. I mean, we weren't quite sure where we were going, but the point is to have a focus and get the right people and then empower the right people to run it. And that's what we have right now. So now it's taking off. It's open 7 days a week. And it's weekdays 8 o'clock until whenever. Weekends until 9, until whenever. Because somebody comes in at 4 o'clock. I want a coffee. We're not saying go away. No, we say come on in. Of course, even if lunch is going on, people can come in the market. So there.
What's on the menu?
Oh my goodness! If you've ever had a breakfast taco, competition has nothing to do with this one. This is amazing. The tortillas, or I should say tortillas, they're so delicious. They're authentic, a little bit toasted with the butter, and then the eggs. You can mix it with sausage, with mushroom, whatever you want. And they're generous portions. And they're not expensive. I mean, they're so good. Everything's so good.
You got
the
your
quiche,
favorite
quiche, yeah, as well. We have all different kinds of coffees. We have muffins. We have kolaches.
And all this is made from scratch.
Everything's made from scratch. Yeah, available in the market. And also in the market, we sell some of our staples like the tuna fish, the chicken salad. We sous vide that so it's nice and tender. Sometimes you buy a chicken salad and it's kind of like it's tough and stringy. This is, say it, M-word, it's moist. The chicken salad it's moist. It's moist. It's delicious. And then we have our egg salad, which is apparently called the life-altering egg salad, because there's a little bit of cayenne in there. It's a little bit of dash of something.
So for the viewers at home, I want to encourage and I want to challenge you to come at the 3 different meals of the day.
Yes.
Right? You now 7 days a week, you've got breakfast. Everything's made from scratch, from your homemade breakfast tacos to your very European high-end quiches of the days, to your
muffins,
your Texas kolaches, to your espressos, your coffees. Little secret. You will find me quite often coming here for lunch on a business lunch. I've shared it with my friends and my colleagues and more people. If you come in here, especially during the week, this is a fantastic business lunch location because the ambiance, the atmosphere,
and it's quiet.
It's quiet.
Dallas, if you want to come sit in the French room and have a table for yourself, you can. In the market, we have charging stations for phones and computers or whatnot. So come in. Pick a little corner, kind of like friends, do what you want, chill, sit at the bar if you want. We don't care.
My best friend, Darren Herman, and I was, the officiant at his wedding. He was the best man of mine. He's starting a new company. His partner flew in last week from California. And where do you think they had a 3-hour business lunch?
I love it.
Yeah.
Plate.
That's right.
That's amazing.
And then, obviously, if you want to take your spouse on an incredible dinner, we came here on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
All the stops. We had escargot. There was beef Wellington.
Your kids have good taste.
Gamut.
Yes. Good.
Yeah. Why order the beef Wellington?
Of course.
That's
of course.
All right. We only have a couple more questions. This has been so much fun. Fun question.
Yes, sir.
If you weren't the heart and soul and the owner running this fabulous restaurant, which is a ton of work, what would you be doing instead?
Writing
about
culinary, lifestyle, culture. I guess upscale Martha Stewart without the jail sentence.
Okay. All right. So basically the Martha Stewart of Texas.
Yeah.
And you would just have Snoop,
I love writing.
Snoop flying to Austin.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people dabble with thought of culinary porn, but maybe that's for the next chapter.
Would you be like a critic, or what would you be writing about?
No, just writing, going to restaurants or going to markets, coming up with new recipes, even like moving to France, what it's like to move into France, things you need to know, difference between Paris and Austin, Texas, how to adapt, how to order food, how to buy furniture, how to decorate.
So it's safe to say you've really settled into the sweet spot of what you're passionate about.
Yeah, because, food is it's not monotone. It touches so many different things. It touches, like, here we're sitting at a table. We have food, we have cutlery, we have plates, we have glasses, we have chairs, we have curtains, we have people.
We have this beautiful painting of
Paris, of course. This is the French room, so all French-related paintings are here. Yeah. So actually, it touches everything. So just writing about food, kind of insulting, I think, to life, because there's so much more that we can offer to people when you talk about food. they go hand in hand, I think.
Okay. Couple more questions
Yeah.
left. Next question. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the vision. What are your goals for the restaurant and the market? Because it's kind of 2 in 1 over the next 5 years. Any exciting plans for expansions on the horizon?
Well, right now we're going to solidify the market and really set that in. And then we'll see. I mean, some people have mentioned dabbling maybe with franchising, but I'm a little nervous about that because a lot of times when people do franchise, they lose that little charm, that authenticity that people so much love. So I think for now, I'm just going to focus on this. I'm working on a cooking book, of course. I want to start a blog, on the restaurant website where I talk about my travels in Paris and the food and everything
I
else
think
in New
a
York.
video blog.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Because after like one glass of wine, you
Yeah.
get real fun.
Oh,
It's incredible.
fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
So I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is a destination place. We've got people from all over the city that drive all the way out here because it's so
From
special.
downtown. I
Right.
love that so much.
For what it's worth, if you took this restaurant, if you ever opened up a second location in downtown, the word would get out and it would be like wildfire.
Something to think about.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
For what it's worth. All right.
Oh, we forgot to mention the patio. That's another dining location. The patio.
Yeah, there's so many different spaces
Yeah,
here.
because when we came here, there was a big ramp that covered most of it. So we took that away, brought it up. So there's a whole outdoor
Over the water.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more questions and that'll be it for me.
Okay.
The last question on my list is how can people best support your restaurant? How can they get a hold of you and where can they follow you?
Well, they can go on my website, platebydzintra.com, or Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well, and Facebook, or they could call me. I mean, my number's on there apparently because customers call and text me all the time.
All right, last
I
question.
will pick up the phone. I will.
Last question, curveball,
Yes.
because I know she's going to watch it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for your very sharp as a tack daughter when she takes it over and rewatches this video 10, 15, 20 years down the road?
Take things in stride. Surround yourself with people that you could trust. Loyalty is everything. Be good to people, and they'll be good back to you.
That's good. Sammy, you heard it from your mother first.
That's right.
That's right. Zentra, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Dal.
We are at Plate by Zentra. Again, breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Pound for pound.
Happy hour too.
The best restaurant and, in my opinion, the biggest hidden gem, not only in the Lake Travis Bee Cave area, but in all of Austin. So you guys make the trip, come out. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Dallas. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So you just heard about Zentra's story, right? Kind of getting to that future business. At age 39, went to Cordon Bleu at Paris, France, then moved back to the States, Austin, Texas, starting a supper club in her house, and then out of necessity, kind of getting some more commercial space because things just took off, right? Started from little plate, saw the opportunity in 2018, came over to big plate, and now if you come here 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it is packed every single time. As you heard in the video, she gives so much heart, love, and soul into every single dish she prepares, right? More than 50% of the time, especially if you're following her on her social channels, she's traveling the world from New York City to Paris, France, trying to sharpen her skill sets, trying to sharpen her knife, as they say, to get more and more inspiration and better dishes for you guys every single day. Whether you're coming in from out of town, you live in another part of Austin, or you're here in Lake Travis, this is the definitive restaurant you need to come and try immediately. You'll never be disappointed. Again, my name's Dallas Seeley. I'm the founder and owner of the Seeley Group. We're trying to come with you so much value every single week. And I'm so excited that I got the opportunity to interview Zentra and hear her story. Thank you again for watching. If you liked this video today, click on the like and subscribe button above, and we'll see you next time.